and welcome to a very special episode of Amy Hart's Mum's Club because it is our final one before I go off to have my baby. As you may or may not know, I think when this comes out, I'll be 30, 32, 33 weeks pregnant. So I'm going to have a little break and then I will come back refreshed with new child in tow. So I was like, who can I do my final episode with? And there was only one person I'd want to do it with, and that is the wonderful Natalie Cassidy. So she's here to talk about her podcast, Life with Nat, her memoir, Happy Days. And as you know, I am a slight super fan, so I might make her talk about EastEnders for just a tiny little bit of time. So please welcome Natalie Cassidy.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm a bit jealous actually of your pregnancy.
Yeah, I feel like because I'm guessing you're done with two now.
I keep saying I'm done, and then I get real pangs of, oh, could I do it again? And then I think about the logistics of it and the madness and the lack of sleep and my body and everything. And I think, no, stop being stupid. My mum had me at 44.
Right.
So
It's
I'm,
tradition.
well, I'm 42, and
Yeah,
everyone says,
yeah.
yeah, you'll be like your mum, you'll have another one, but we'll see.
We'll see. Because the thing is, I don't know about you, but when you're pregnant with your first, you think, oh, I don't need to soak this in that much because I'm gonna have like, this is not gonna be my only pregnancy.
Mm, mm.
Like, and then now I'm having my second. I keep thinking like, well, this like I hope it's not, but this could be my last pregnancy. And
Could
even
be.
if it's not, like, I mean, my nan's mum had 10 kids.
Oh,
She got to
wow.
do this 10 times. Like, I mean,
Bloody hell.
probably wasn't a walk in the park in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Like, I've watched Call the Midwife.
Yeah.
But but also well gel. But I do think like probably the maximum I would have is four. I've only got two more times.
I
Like,
just think it's amazing that you say that. I just think it's sort of logistically these days and everything's so expensive, you know.
hmm
And I know that's not a very romanticized way of looking at family, but I just don't know if even I could afford another one. They're
this
so
is the thing.
expensive.
Yeah. And I know it's like a really niche reference and it's really stupid,
Go on.
but when we were in Disney earlier on in the year, I was seeing families with four kids, and I was like, that's a lot of fast passes to buy.
It's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot of seats.
And if you don't buy the fast passes, then you've got to stand in a queue with four kids. Like, I don't,
I don't
it's
know
just a
how they do
lot.
it. It really is a lot. You
But
know,
then
and then
it's
it's
like,
aeroplane, and then it's
yeah,
cars. You've got to change your car. You've got rooms when you go on holiday. I mean, even with I don't know about you, but you'll see family of four, you need a bit of a bigger room, and
hmm
everything hikes up.
I know.
However, you look absolutely blooming, absolutely beautiful. And
Thank
how old
you.
is Stanley now?
So he'll be three in March. He's three on the
Nice.
3rd of March, and then baby's due on the 22nd of March. So I'm like, as long as it doesn't come on the 3rd, it's fine.
It is
Like,
fun.
yeah, as long as any time I don't mind. So it'll be like three years exactly, which I think it'll be really nice. He's really excited. He keeps saying about like, Mummy, I'm gonna feed the milk from a really tiny bottle. Um
Oh.
and he says, Mummy, I will hold their legs while you do the wiping because I don't want to do the wiping.
Oh, that's so cute. You have to say, Stanley, I'm not being funny, but it is a baby and it's not a lamb. We're not
Yeah.
that's what you're
Yeah.
thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a little
Yeah.
bottle feeding the
Well,
lambs,
but
bless
you
you.
said that when Stanley was a baby. So when we were kids, we used to go to this farm
Mm,
and they'd like line all the kids up and they'd give you all a bottle of milk and
yeah.
they'd like release the hounds, but they were goats. And they'd like release them out and they'd like run full pelt at you and they'd like grab onto the bottle and then be like really like feed him. That was what Stanley was like when he was a baby with the
Brilliant.
bottle. He'd be like,
Loved it. My
yeah,
kids love
uh,
their bottle. You know, when you go to the health visitor and they're like, the
yeah,
bottle and the dummy needs to go. I'll be like, yeah, it's gone. Definitely wasn't gone.
no,
I think Eliza had a bottle in the cot until she was about, well, just before school. Only, she just loved it. She didn't really have well, she did have dummies as well, actually. And Joni didn't have anything. Never had a
no.
dummy. They're all
So
different.
Stanley has comforters, but we've got like
Mm.
10 different ones. So if we lose one, it's fine.
Yeah.
And he chews them and like, or he like a teddy with like a leg on it, likes to chew. And I went to the dentist the other day and I was like, do these need to go? And he's like, you with like soft things like that, you've got till they're six. And I was like, okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Right. Um, but thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's a
Can we just
pleasure.
right, let's just get it out of the way before we get into it.
Go
It's
on.
been a year since you left EastEnders. What was it like
Yes.
being part of the live episode? Because I like loved the whole thing. and I was crying. And especially like the hour-long one the night before, I watched
Yes.
it in the bath, and I was just crying my eyes out in the bath. Like, I just love it. It's just so magical. How was it being part of the live episode?
It was amazing, and I love talking about it. So I'm not one of those people who comes out of something and you kind of want to forget you've done it. I've been there all my life, so
Mm,
I just don't mind talking about it. So I love Sonia, and it was really nerve-wracking. It was very, very nerve-wracking, but because it all sort of shut down EastEnders as we know it. So usually we're churning out 12 scenes a day, and we're 6 weeks ahead, and you just get on with it, and no one's really together. But for the live episode, you are together, and it's kind of an ensemble piece, and you're doing it all at the same time, and you're just it's like a company again. It feels like you're doing a theatre show, but obviously it's for television. So it was the most special month, and obviously I gave birth on the floor of the Vic
yeah,
in total devastation.
yeah.
But I
With
don't
Reese dead under a bath. Like,
Reese dead under a bath, yeah,
some people have candles. You had that. So,
there you go. I mean, she was pleased about it because he was an
yeah,
etter. So there we are.
yes,
But it was brilliant, and the feeling afterwards of elation. I mean, before you go live, it does flash. You know what I mean. You do live telly and stuff, but
mm,
because you're playing a character and you have things that you need to do, marks you need to hit, lines that need to come out for other people, you're just thinking, please don't let me be the one to drop the ball. It's
yeah.
and no one did, and actually there were people saying, I believe that this was recorded because it was so perfect. So we made it, we did it.
Mm. I mean, I like literally, this is how sort of like Delulu I am. I was convinced that Martin wasn't going to die, and I was sat there and I was literally saying to my brother on text, I was like, the Vic is going to collapse and kill, like, because all the characters were outside,
Yeah.
watching. I was like, the Vic is going to collapse outwards and kill one of them that way. How they would have done that live, don't know. And I was like literally like, and then I found out that obviously like because of like being able to see what it looked like and stuff, like obviously that bit was slightly CGI'd. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, there's me thinking that Ruby's gonna like fall to the floor and then like the Queen Vic sign will fall on her. Because like, there's no way they're gonna kill Martin off. He was the original baby. And they did. But I do actually think that was, oh, as much as it saddens me, especially now with Mark Fowler Jr. coming back, I do think that it was actually the right person to die. And that's really mean,
I
but
know.
I
I
think
know what you mean.
it affects so many people. I feel like if
Mm.
just Reese had died, it'd have been like, well, you know, good riddance, bad rubbish. Like, Sonia, you were leaving anyway. Whereas,
Mm.
like, Martin dying then affects Stacey and the Bills and Lily, and like,
Yes.
and it's such like a ripple effect. So yeah,
Yeah, it's really hard. I think it's just so emotional and hard when I think a job like that comes to an end, but also a death because it's
yeah.
so final. I've just
Hmm.
been very, very lucky. And when I decided to leave, I knew that episode was coming up. So it was, in my head, I thought, it could be me that they kill easily because, it's perfect timing and whatever. But I was just very lucky to
Yeah, to go
escape
in
the
the
death.
back of a convertible with your trumpet.
Well,
I mean, an iconic ending for an iconic character.
there you go, on a speedboat with Bianca. What
Oh,
else do you
speedboat.
want
That
to
was
do?
it. Yeah, I was could see you with like the open top.
That's it,
But
yeah.
let's talk about your sort of journey of motherhood. Obviously, you have two lovely girls, Eliza and Joni. I think
Yes,
when I recorded your podcast, Eliza came in, didn't she? She was
that's right.
like, "Hiya."
Yeah.
Um, how have you found being a mum first time and the second time? Because obviously I'm back to it the second time, so I'd love to hear what it's like second time around.
Well, I think you do, you know things. I think you're a little more relaxed. I think that you've gone through all of those firsts and you know it's not that bad. And I just think that you are a little bit more controlled. Obviously, you've got a few more years on you, so you've got that experience. And I loved it both times round. I just love being a mum, and I really was one of those people who loved being pregnant. I was very, very tired, felt a little bit sick, but I had good pregnancies. Um, but yeah, the second time round, you've got no firsts, and of course, you're still worried and anxious, but you've got that experience. So I do think you will really love it. I think you're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it all again and to have like some people I follow on Instagram had a baby yesterday and they're posting like
Oh,
just like on the chest and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for that. Because everyone's like, you've got to get outside, you've got to go out for a walk. And I'm like, no, I just really like watching telly with the baby on my chest. Doing
I just think that those couple of weeks when you get home, or you might be having a home, but you know, whatever, when the
oh no.
baby's with you, are the most magical. That quiet, calm time, and the odd person can pop in and have a cup of tea or whatever, but it's so, so special. And I always say to anybody, you know, just enjoy that first month. Don't worry about seeing people if you don't want to. It's not rude. Just enjoy every second of it.
See, my mum said to me the other day, I hate to break it to you, but nobody cares as much. Because I talked about when I had Stanley, I did a big like sip and see. So I had like visitors at home all the time, and then I did a big sip and see at my mum's,
Yeah.
um, for sort of like the next level of people, like for everyone to come in one day. I had loads of prosecco, loads of cake, tea and
Mm.
coffee, and everyone came around to see Stanley. I said to mum about doing that, and I was like, actually, I don't know, I'll see. And mum was like, I hate to break it to you, but nobody cares as much about your second baby apart from you. Like,
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, she sounds like me. That's why I'm so straight. It's
yeah.
lovely to hear. You know, I'm straight with Eliza, straight with Joni. But yeah, I think they will. I think you could have a little sip and.
Obviously when you were at Eastenders, your life was quite regimented.
Mm,
And now that you sort of come out of that, obviously you've done Cooking with the Stars, you've done Masked Singer, like you do your podcast, you've got your book, etc. So life's a bit more like sort of, I don't want to say crazy, but obviously it's not as routine as it was when you were in EastEnders. Have you found you've had to alter your sort of like mum routines and stuff because of the change in your lifestyle?
yeah, brilliant question. It's really interesting because actually, what's happened is with EastEnders, you'd get your call sheets on a Thursday afternoon. Okay, so on a Thursday night, sometimes a Friday morning for the following week. So you'd have a rough idea script wise if you were going to be busy or not.
Mhm,
But you could not plan anything. It was very, very last minute, you know, and that's the way it is. It's a huge machine and you just get
mhm.
used to it. But coming away, I can't believe it. I can book a concert, I can book a theatre show, I can book a holiday. It feels so freeing. And for the children as well, you know, I know now if a job's coming up and, you know, that chunk of time I'm not going to be around, so we get a bit of childcare or what have you. But I'm around a lot. January's really quiet. And, you know, you get these panicking moments, anxiety.
Yes, every
Oh,
year.
you're not going to work
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Um, but I'm like, no, enjoy it. You know, I'm doing all the pickups, the drop offs. We go swimming in the evening. You know, there's a lot going on. And I love being at home. If I could be at home and do nothing, I'd be quite happy. You know,
We are the same
I'd be
person.
happy, Amy. I'd like
So would
cooking,
I.
pottering, pop to the gym, have a swim, see the mums for a coffee. You know, I could do all of that. It wouldn't, I'd be very happy doing it.
Obviously, you know, mine would literally be like laying in bed watching telly. Like literally, it's my favorite thing to do. And I always say to people, like, I am inherently lazy. I'm a lazy person. And
I
people
don't
go,
think
no,
that's
no,
true.
yeah. People go, no, you're not. No, no, no. I'm not lazy because obviously I have to work, have to provide for my family, and I enjoy my work. I really love my work. Um, but if I had a choice, my favorite thing to do is to lay in bed and watch telly all
Mm.
day. And when the baby comes, like people keep saying to me, "Oh, have you watched this?" I'm like, "No, saving it all up, saving it all
Saving
up,"
it all.
because me and Sam do shift work like through the nights with the
Mm.
baby. 5, 6 hours of like the baby's your responsibility, and five,
Okay.
6 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And Sam will sleep through his like on shift,
Mm.
and just wake up when the baby wakes up. Not me. 5, 6 hours of telly. I love it. I love it so much.
That is brilliant. That is so funny.
I love it. Let's talk about your book. So you've written your memoir.
I
I
have.
am My goal this year is to get more into reading. So I'm actually I was gonna listen to the audiobook and I was like, no, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna read it. Um,
Give it a flick through and see what you think. It's lovely. Yeah, it's just all about my life really. Lots and lots to do with EastEnders because obviously that's such a huge part of it. And I talk about losing mum and dad. You know, it's hard, a little bit of grief in there, but it is very honest. Yeah, lots about the children and obviously lovely Mark. It's a lovely, honest, gentle read. It's got quite a lot of facts in it about days of the week because I wanted to structure it in a different way. I didn't want it to be I was born on the da 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 and then I went to school. You know, I thought what could I do
mm,
differently? So it's called Happy Days and each chapter is about a day of the week. So it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day and what those days mean to me. So yeah, have a little look, and if anyone's listening, yeah, try it out. It's a
I
nice
can't
read.
wait. I love like reading autobiographies. Have always been I've when I was younger I used to read all the time. And
Yeah.
we went on holiday to Tenerife and I read Claire Richards' biography, like autobiography, on the flight
Yes.
over. Like I read it start to finish. And my friend was like, "How have you just read a whole book in 4 hours?" And I was like, "Because once I'm in, I'm in."
You're in.
And then as I've got older and like, had Stanley and stuff, and I'm a bit
Mm.
like not scared of reading now, but I'm like, oh God, do I have the attention span? Like, could I do it still? And my husband started reading for 20 minutes every night before he goes to bed.
Yes.
So I'm like, right, okay, once I finish Love Island, and I'm not going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning every day,
You're gonna
I'm
join
gonna
in.
start doing that too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting you say that because I'm the same. I think what it is, because we have so much going on as women, right? Our mental load is so much. The thought of another task, and it's quite a large task, and I think it's really hard to go, no, I can only do a little bit of it. I'm just going to do the 20 minutes an evening and
Mhm.
not go, oh, I'm going to start this huge book and I've got to finish it within a week. That is brilliant if you do the 10
Yeah.
or 20 minutes. And on my pod, Life with Nat, I have now got a little book club section. So each
Yes.
month I choose a little book and that's quite nice. If anyone wants to, but I've had so many messages from listeners saying, thank you so much. It's helped me get back into reading again. So that's really good as well.
Yeah. Your podcast, to talk about it, Life with Nat.
Yeah.
Um, it's the multiverse. It's the podcast multiverse because there are so many different like themes. So you've got your book club bit, you have Nat's nieces, you've
Yeah.
got with your podcast with Mark, obviously Auntie Linny comes on. Like it is the multiverse, and I love how I think so many podcasts are it's like, what big names we, and I love how you're like, this is my family, this is my life, and you're coming into it. Did you
Yeah.
imagine that it would be as big as it is?
Never did I think it'd be where it is at today. It'll be 2 years in April, Aim. So
Oh my
it goes
God.
so quick, doesn't it, when you're podcasting and stuff? But like you say, I wanted it to be different because I didn't want to have that constant stream of celebrities that I might not even like because they're promoting something. Not being horrible. I don't want to sit and talk to people I'm not bothered about. That, you've been on my pod, because you're lovely. Do you know what I mean? So I have people on, I have guests on that I really like and can have a chat with that I've got something in common with. So I do have the odd celebrity on. But yeah, a lot of it is revolved around me and my nieces who are in their 30s and they're like my sisters and best mates. And we talk about parenting and lifestyle. And then my brother Tony's on, who's in his late 50s. I've got my sister in law. And like you say, it's a bit of a soap opera about our family. And we talk about lots of different subjects. And I talk to the listeners as well, which I think is very, very important. I'll just ring them up and have a chat with the listeners, which they love. So it's good.
What I love about like your family is obviously 'cause you say your mum had you when she was 44.
Yeah.
Um, Sort of the generations sort of cross over, don't they? So like you say, like your older brother then had your
Mm.
nieces, so you grew up with them. So they're
Yes.
like your sisters. And
Yes.
then obviously like they've had kids now that are growing up at the same time as your kids. And
Mm.
I love all that blending because like I've always got on better with people that are like older than me. I think that comes from
Same.
my mum and dad having like a big group of friends and
Mm.
me being the oldest out of all the kids. So like I was like 10 and all the others were really little. So I would always sit with the grown-ups.
Yeah.
And that's like literally been like a theme throughout my whole life. So one thing I want to talk about really quickly is Masked Singer, because obviously it's back
Oh,
on. You were
yes.
booked. How hard was it to keep it a secret?
To be honest with you, you film it, 6 months before you get it in the bag. That's hard. So, where are you
Yeah.
going today? I made something up. I said I'm doing a radio play and I'm going to be out of the house from here to
Mm.
here. I made up. I had a pretend job and got on with it. And then when it comes out, you've sort of forgotten you've done it. You go, oh, it's on the telly now. And my little Joni really loved Bush, which was so cute. That was her favourite. My big one didn't. She takes it or leaves it really. The Masked Singer. So it'd be on the telly and she'd sort of come in and out and watch it. And the only time that my eldest, who's now 15, clocked was when her mate started messaging her or teachers at school was like, "Is that your mum?" She was like, "Is that you?" I was like, "Don't be so ridiculous." And I went down the line of it being, Morgana Robinson because obviously
Yeah.
she does an amazing impression of me, and yeah, she bought that, and then obviously once Bush was unmasked, everyone was round. I got everyone round for a takeaway, and they loved it. Yeah, I filmed their reactions. It was really fun.
Yeah, I love all the reaction videos. Like Matt
Oh,
Lucas did
it's
one the
so
other day
good.
with his mum and dad. It's
Yeah.
like waiting. I wouldn't be able to. Well, my dream is to do it. And I'm saying it now, so I'd never be able to do it because I'd give it away. And just do like a different party dance every week. So like do Agadoo one week,
Oh,
YMCA one
brilliant.
week, and I could be a piece of cheese. Uh,
I love it. Well, you can't do that now,
I know I
as you
can't do
said.
it.
Spoilt
Everyone
it.
will say, yeah, I know.
They're brilliant though,
But
the costume department. When you have a meeting on Zoom, and they show you all these different things. And there was, different things, and they were really clever. But when the bush come up, I thought, no, I've got to do it. It's too camp. Got to trim
yes,
my bush. Here comes the bush. Where's the bush? I thought I've got to do it for my gay community out there. I thought I've got to
yes,
be a bush.
I love that. Now, obviously, now you've left EastEnders, you have this freedom to do
Yeah.
whatever. And I think that was one of the big reasons you did leave, wasn't it? It's like to sort of branch out and see who you are. Because, like you say, you've been there like your whole life. What
Mm.
would be your dream job?
Oh, such a hard question, isn't it? I've just filmed something which is amazing, which is coming out hopefully in May. Not sure yet, but I think it's May for BBC Daytime. And
It's the
it's
12-part series where you learn to be a carer.
It's caring, yeah. Well done, you, for your homework. But it was brilliant, and I went back to college. Actually, I've done it. I've done an exam. I've done assignments, properly done it, and it was amazing because I was with all these kids, 16-year-olds who were going into care. Then I'd be going into different places, dementia homes, care homes, home carers, seeing how they work. And a bit like you, all the oldies. It was just so cute and I loved every minute of it. So that'll be coming out and that was brilliant. My other dream job really is comedy because I would love to do more comedy. I don't think I'm brave enough to do stand up, Amy, but maybe
No,
one
it
day.
is
I do think
scary.
I do think about it. I do think, could I just do 5 minutes somewhere? Should I test myself? Should I try it? Maybe I should. I don't know. But I would love to be in like a Motherland or an
Yes,
Amanda Land, a nice
I could
sitcom
see you.
comedy.
Yeah.
That would be my dream.
I did I worked with Kay Kurd, who's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And we spent a week together doing the Love Island podcast. And
Yeah.
he was like, on the last day, he was like, I've really enjoyed working with you. And if you ever want to do a stand-up show, I'd really like to write it for you. And I was
Wow.
like, babes, I've got social anxiety. I can't be doing stand-up. I can't be seeing what people think as in real time. I was like, I like to
Well,
pre-record and then have it go out.
perhaps we should go out as a double act.
Yes, that would be
Support each other.
amazing. Yes. But I love that you've done that carer show, like with
Mm,
the caring, and like, and that you've actually. I think some people would like be like, yeah, yeah, and here's me doing this. But the fact that you actually went back to college
yeah.
and got your qualification is amazing.
Thank you.
Um, One of the things that like annoys me the most in the world is that because I've had two grandparents that have been in care homes and how expensive it is,
Mm.
but then the people that are looking after them day to day and are amazing are then on really low wages. And I'm like, well, where's that money going? Well, we know where it's going, but
It's a
I've never seen a
complete
poor care
nightmare.
home owner. Yeah, and it just makes me so sad. Like I
Mm,
remember when, like one of the things for me, like my granny was in a nursing home for like 7 years. My granddad was only in for a couple of months, but it
mm.
was while I was in Love Island, and he said to the girls like that came in the morning, do you know what Love Island is? And they were like, yeah. And he was like, can I get it on this television? And they're like, yeah, we'll come in and put it on for you, Jeff. And he watched the first two episodes and he decided that it really wasn't for him because he found
Fair
it weird
enough.
watching me go on dates.
Yes.
So he sort of had like a bit of a pact with the girls, and they'd come in the morning and give him a full rundown of last night's episode,
And how you were doing. Oh,
and show
bless
many like
him.
funny moments on Instagram and stuff. So he's like, so I didn't watch it, but I did know what was going on every day because the girls
Bless
would
his
come in and
heart.
tell me. And I think like just like obviously they've got all the different residents to look after,
Yeah.
but the fact they would sit with him every day and talk him through Love Island, I'm like, that is like above and beyond.
It is above and beyond, and they do. Carers go above and beyond. And I think if you're going into that industry, you just have to have a bucket full of empathy. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. So that's how this happens. That's why you get away with the wages because they're kind people and they want to give
Mhm.
themselves. And that, it's really, really difficult, but very eye-opening. And I really hope you like it. I
Yeah,
love doing it.
I
Really
can't
did.
wait to watch. And if it comes out in May, I'll be on the sofa in my dressing gown with a
Of
small
course you will.
baby. So
There you go. Another thing for you to
I,
lie and
watching daytime
watch.
TV. So your book is out now, and people can get it from pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And what days does your podcast come out again?
Mondays and Thursdays with little bonus ones here and there. And that is Natalie Cassidy's Life with Nat, and you can get it wherever you get your podcasts.
So make sure you subscribe to it so that when the bonus ones come up, they should get delivered.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Nat, and thank you all for listening. This is going to be my last podcast for a little while, so thank you so much for all your support over the last year on our socials as well, at Amy Hart's Mums Club on Instagram and TikTok. You've all been fabulous, and I will see you on the other side.